In early 2004, my best friend Brody Milne said that his mother had been fighting with her sister and was moving to be nearer her brother in Townsville. That's the reason I'm here. Get out of the shithole that's Broken Hill. Go to a tropical paradise. Be with your best mates. Live your best life. But instead, the anxiety that had been growing for many years in Broken Hill suddenly reached fever pitch in Townsville. It really is true what Crowded House said. Everywhere you go, you always take the weather with you. So who the fuck am I? I'm this weird splattering of progressive ideas, blissful ignorance, a lover of doing nothing, an unhinged ambition, all wrapped up in an introvert's anxiety complex. Look, I know that I'm not the only one who's like this. This is why I'm saying this. This isn't all just about me. Hopefully you can see something of yourself in this. That's why I'm making this. But what I'm really trying to figure out is, how did I get here? And where am I going to go? You begin to ask yourself the question like, why am I still working the same after-school job I've worked for the last 20 years? Why am I still single after 10 years? But the problem is you. Once you accept that, things actually become a hell of a lot easier. You've got to set your mind to something and just do it. It's all the little things. It's barely motivation. It's really just setting yourself small little goals and going from there. I've always wanted certainty in my life, as long as I can know that that happens and then know that. But you'll never get that. Certainty is a luxury rarely afforded to the working classes. But within this uncertainty, in all its anxiety-ridden, self-loathing glory, we find the key to succeed. Once you understand that life isn't a movie that revolves around you, once you truly understand that and not just pretend it, uncertainty should be what drives you to make things happen in your life. It's yours for the making. The key is just little bits every day, accepting the fact that no matter what happens, you only have certain control over it, and you absolutely have to stick to the plan. No one is coming to save you. The universe isn't good or bad. It's indifferent. You're the one who has to make the effort. But do you really want to hear me waxing lyrical about philosophy?
The answer is no.
I moved to Townsville in 2009 and I had a pretty rough time of it. You would expect that after you've been living in your parents' house for the first 23 years of your life. I'd saved up $20,000 and I was moving to Townsville for the first time. I was going to move in with Matt Paul, who was my other friend who moved up with my friend Brody Milne. And this is a thing that happens in life. There's people who will just simply come and go. Matt is one of those people who came and went. Within 3 months, I'd spent that 20 grand. My life was in pieces. I hated Townsville. It was too hot. What was really unforgivable, though, is how I just let my life completely go. I never went to the gym. I never tried to improve myself in any way. I just loved getting drunk on weekends. I loved doing nothing. My favourite thing to do in the world to this day is still nothing. In fact, it's taken me a hell of a lot of effort to finally get to the point of making this video. For me, a big turning point was when I was talking about years that happened so long ago that people who I currently work with weren't even born then. So in my last year of high school, Blur's Think Tank came out. And I was a big fan of that album a year later in 2004. And it felt like a recent release. It had a new sheen to it. Well, now if you talk about it, it's proper in the past. It's not causally connected to anything anymore. It's old. Someone who's 19 now, someone who's 20 now, would not even know that album. Suddenly the realization was that there's only a limited amount of time in life and that I'm getting old and that I don't control that. And I'm so much smarter than that. I have so much more talent and so much more to give to the world than maybe I should. One of my proudest moments of my life happened last week with the World Monologue Games announcing their global finalists.
And the winner of Main Pro Australia, ACT, NSW and QLD Queensland, with 8 points from the judges, the clear favourite a wonderful, impassioned performance. Very deep, very sincere, and a pretty out there piece. I thought it was really cool. With 8 points, winning that final judge's seat in the Globals for this show, it's Sean Keenan from Townsville, Queensland. Sean, mate, congratulations. You are the judge's pick for the show and our next global finalist.
To say I was on cloud nine is an understatement. I was like, yes! I had no idea that I was going to win that. So it's not the overall winner, but it is. You go into the regionals, a certain amount of people are picked for regional finals, and then from that they do a voting system and the judges vote on it, and then from then you go into the global, same thing, and then we'll have the winners. And I won that regionals part. Fucking hell. Absolutely mind blown. The World Monologue Games is something that I found 3 years ago, and I remember seeing it and I thought, I'm going to win that one day. Little did I realise how great the talent was. But in my first entry, I did make it through to the regionals and then through to the globals. I made it in at third in the regionals a couple of years ago in the amateur. And in the globals, I had actually, it was kind of a letdown, really. Nothing happened. But ultimately, it was pretty nice. It was a really nice experience. And this year was quite amusing. I'd waited too long to use my free entry for the World Monologue Game, so I bought some more on the last day that I could possibly do that. And that very night, I suddenly realised that no, this was literally your last chance to enter. It's your last day to buy them. It's your last day to enter. And I suddenly realised there was like 5 hours to the deadline. I had to film something tonight. And I wanted to go see Mad Max Fury Road. I thought, oh shit, what am I going to do? I thought, well, you've left it too late. Simple as that. And then I came up with this idea. I thought, no. You want to stay in this. You've been in this for a few years now. You want to keep going. So I thought, okay, you want to keep yourself going in the World Monologue Games. You've got to record something tonight. But how are you going to come up with something in just a few hours? Like, it's due in about 5 hours' time. And that's when I remembered something I auditioned for NIDA the year before. Someone on a telephone talking about transitioning, but doing it ambiguously, and they were sort of indifferent to it. I thought, well, that's a really good idea. Why don't you go through someone practicing how it would be coming out to their father about transitioning and making them conservative. I was able to dig into the well a little bit because my father's conservative, although I love my dad dearly. It's not based on him whatsoever. But there was this kind of element that I could relate to this. So I thought, okay, well, let's do that. So let's just go through the practicing. I just went over it and over it and over it, and I got it done. And I still had enough time to go out and see the movie Mad Max Fury Road, although I didn't get to see it because I'd gone to the Bronx cinema and I was well and truly too late. But sometimes those kind of inspirational things, they do just happen just off the cuff like that. You do need a little bit of time. I definitely would recommend giving yourself enough time. But in reality, as long as you know what you're doing and there's a passionate performance that you think that you can give, I see no reason why something can't be done in a reasonably quick amount of time. When I was in my final year of primary school, my class was putting on a performance of Shake a Tail Feather from the Blues Brothers soundtrack. To put it bluntly, I sucked. But then suddenly, I was alive. I was in my element. I knew exactly what I had to do and nothing was going to stop me from doing it. A quarter century on, I know exactly what I have to do now.